So, hey there, everyone. I just wanted to bring up human trafficking and how it's being done with these almost kidnappings with me, and how it's closely related to not only my father stalking me, but as well as that having these proxies in my life, these deep fake relationships that they progressively created for me to leave me in an entrapment. And that's why they like blackball my reality basically, because it is human trafficking. To create honeypots is sex trafficking you, and it's sex trafficking you in the open air. It's meant to look like a normal relationship, but I was poisoned in my defense. So they never have ever a place to legitimately love me in my life, or to allow me to perform my own life to any normal or regular capacity of my own, because they knew that I'd be holding the truth that they couldn't stand that I do, and they want to sabotage that truth. And all wanted to do is report and expose the gang stalking long prior to me even figuring them out with their organized crimes against me. And this as well goes to the efforts of them constantly hacking, constantly taking accounts over or maliciously taking them down, hijacking my life's income in an effort to legitimately obliterate me in my life. And so they want to make you as unstable as they can, and they literally like fashion fashion it to their own goals that are clear to me here and there, that have been just destroying my life, my relationships, literally all of them, as best as they can. And it's all in order so they can discredit me and keep me fighting homelessness or all of the abuse that it creates in an undeniable fashion to anybody with any kind of real eyes to see it. It's a total life takeover of every factor of my personal life to prevent me from having a place or a platform to speak out from, let alone the time, data, and resources that a person needs in order to even try and take it to those levels. This is why I believe that the forensics does not work correctly within it of being part of that sexual abuse. The doctors don't work to try and suggest there are any real physical symptoms of a poisoning or anything that's going on inside of a man's life in order to legitimately create the paper trail of proof. So they don't try and go after that proof, and it's all just to continue the suggestibility of a narrative that they would rather need it to be or want it to be. And it's all being done in a retaliatory effort to cover up the many avenues of the abuse and the crimes that they've been taken upon me in order to deny, attack, and reverse the victim and offender when they're literally the aggressors in the situation on many different levels. And so I know how everything has happened. They can't handle the fact that I know. They don't know how I know. They can't even believe that I'm still alive. They couldn't believe that I was still alive at a young age. So they really can't handle it now. And it's because I've studied, I've written on it for many years, and I've had to literally like train myself to find enjoyment, I guess, in exposing corrupt numbnuts, basically, because of all their performance, which suggests that they're just the biggest queef bags out there. Just, just a faggot's fart in the wind, I guess. But that's why they create this gap between who I actually am and who they want and who they need their narrative to portray me to be, because I'm exposing these crimes to the level of what it actually is and how it's being done. And it's not like I don't try and get away, because I do, but they have completely curated the avenues of all areas of my life to circumvent their crimes against me, even into the fact of poisoning me and controlling my relationships to poison me. And it even creates a wider gap with who you are and who you otherwise have to become, being hacked and kicked around from having any kind of normal support. They just hijack your reality, and then they just use their gossip and manipulation in order to be these swindlers, and basically swindling anybody's judgment before they could come and actually listen to us to see how this witchcraft works, why it is witchcraft and sorcery, and it's all about retaliating against you brutally and violently, I might add, so that people can just get used to the effects that it takes inside of your life, as though all the things that happen to you are somehow your fault. And that's just laughable, because in a situation where you're in an entrained reality from a young age onward, you know that it's a pill that most people can't swallow, but you can also then very variably see how these people out here have no man balls whatsoever. They might as well just zip tie their balls clean off. Because in all honesty, it even seems like they prefer it that way. They like they want they don't want any men to have any kind of real balls out here. So these cowards didn't expect me to take it out here and explain to people the poisoning and explain to people these crimes at all, let alone live through the amplified attacks against me to even suggest that I'm the crazy one over all of their crazy that they actually are. I'm not the criminal. They are. And they need and want me dead for just exposing their fucking hurt balls. I don't know. I don't understand it, because they could have real man balls, but they just don't have real man balls. And so that with them enjoying that hurt that they bring into a target's life in that fashion, it literally leaves you in a distorted reality, because they enjoy the hurt that they create, which makes them sociopaths. And then to literally take over your life and your relationships this way. And my own brothers, for fuck's sake. I mean, working in a network behind the scenes of my life, they didn't want me alive to even ever get away or to try and get away. Because, like Jesse, for an example, who, mind you, literally said and explained the worst crime that could ever happen to a person was taking over someone's life and their love and like even family and resources with finances, and like literally walking away with parts of their life and their girlfriend underneath their arms and stuff like that, like swindling them and their finances and home and things like that. And these are the very things that I would be fighting for in a reality. It was like a real relationship, a real love life, a real home life, a real stability, and like he brings up that crime after having been in my apartment at the time poisoning me, and it was right after my grandma had died. So they also used like any kind of grief that you're already in to like create more grief and more psychological warfare inside of a person's reality, where like as soon as I was literally fighting for my life in that kind of way and moving in that exact way that I was trying to move, that's exactly where they like literally distort your reality and play up that same crime that they bring up to you as suggesting that they need to, or something like that. Like, I don't know, like they need to make you feel like you're choosing it versus them just doing these things to you, which is like the worst crime of its type that could happen, because it's to suggest to everybody else that there's nothing to see there, and there is. So this crime was like literally drawn up to drain me in an algorithm straight out of hell, where they're poisoning me up unrelenting in an unrelenting fashion, I should say, all my fucking life, to continue that poison, and then exactly doing those things. They walk away with everything that meant something to me, Like I'm I'm just left in this entrapped and trained reality while they get to play up as the fucking most cagiest pieces of gutter trash that could ever exist. And now that fucking piece of garbage lives 2 blocks from me, where I wouldn't have paid for this house if I wasn't poisoned up in that way. They literally left me in an entrained reality to poison me up that way and push me into this situation because these fuck off artists know they're pieces of gutter trash. They just protect each other. Their little 3 letter agencies, their Freemasonry, their occultism, their synagogues of Satan, and then all of these warlocks and witches. And it's like wizardry that they work in, basically to leave you in that duress, lock you in that place, as if you're supposed to literally try to get out of a situation where they're like literally shutting you in this entrained reality the entire lifetime inside of the heaviest crime since birth. Also, that my father can get away with his fuck ass crimes, and these people don't even want to do anything right. There's no system of police anymore when they're literally like working in an occupation to literally allow for these crimes to go on over and over. And other people with real eyes and real brains behind their eyes can at least see it for what it is. Though they might not have nuts themselves to get in the fight, I think it's ridiculous because we should all be realizing the duress that everyone is in out here and literally stepping up our game to fight these crimes against humanity. If we're not fighting these crimes against humanity and we have like a growing problem of this sex trafficking occultist bullshit ass crime, they're just going to continuously get away with it. And like, I don't care who you are, I don't care how you believe, because these people legitimately, if they wanted to come fuck with you on any real level, you have every right to protect yourself, even if the courts are like, oh, you can't protect an intruder from coming in and raping your daughter or fucking raping you. No, you can't do that. The criminal has rights too, you know. That's what they're trying to like literally play it off like too, and it's just a fuck ass crime. So when you can finally see it happening and you want to come out of that box, so to speak, that they want to keep you entrained in and trapped in for your whole life, you should be able to literally have a dialogue out here that's not being hacked and taken down, but they literally want you to lose everything. It's not just your life and livelihood and your love life and your home life and your finances and just everything obliterated. They literally want you to lose everything over and over and over again because it's a ridiculous crime when you're literally being poisoned because you're like your body can't even your mind can't even like signal to your body to go pee when you're in that situation, but then when you're out of it now you can fucking explain things, and it's obviously like these people are ridiculously retarded, and I'm not like literally getting at people with disabilities and handicaps, but I'm just literally getting at the fashion of how the obvious retaliation works against a person to barely be able to get back to their own person or even make it out of their entrainment at all alive. So then, sorry for saying, but they have no skin in the game at all with what it takes to actually be a real fucking human being. And I'm literally talking about these systems and these courts and these police and these sheriffs because they're doing things illegal too. They're doing things illegal. You've caught them with your eyes doing shit illegal. And it's like your word against theirs. And it's like, oh, what a fuck shit ass condition to like leave a person's reality in at that point at 18, 19 years old. Let alone like all of my life to leave me in this entrained reality with these fake ass, two faced ass piece of shit cowards. They can't fucking sign a document and step into the ring with me. Like, I'm fucking having a heart attack. I'd still fight to my death as far as that's concerned. Like, these people are literally allowing me to fight to my death in like an isolated fashion where they're like, oh, he's just doing it to himself and whatever they want to think. But it's just all fucking garbage. It's garbage and it's all lies. So they want to leave us alone. All of our dialogue gets left alone. No one has the ability to have no kind of adulting conversation alone in the matter at all. Like, oh, that really proves that the chief of police has man balls. No, you fucking don't, bitch. You're leaving me hacked, hijacked, data map, tracked, a whole group of criminal ass family type bullshit and an organized crime against me. It's just so fucking ridiculous to even try and consider these people as though we're living up to our human potential at all inside of this shit that is just so bloody fucked up. It's not even fucking funny. So I hope that I can bring some balance into this life and like literally get people working differently on online social media because these crimes are the worst type of human rights violations that have ever taken place in all of history. And literally people want to call what they're doing human potential. Yeah, maybe for all of the evils, maybe for all of these fucking weirdo sciences, literally. But as far as I'm concerned, these people can all just get fucked. Like, go get fucked. Like, for real. With what you're doing to humanity in this fashion, what you're doing to targeted individuals out here. And, like, we're literally, like, 20 years or better, like, out of the actuality of, like, what's actually happening to us in our lives. They don't want us to discover these things in the first place before leaving us dead. And then they want to call what they're doing in the educational system and these systems like giving us a fake prop money as fiat currency and keeping us slaves to the fucking grind. Just literally draining everyone's fucking energy away from them on anything beautiful that we could be doing inside of life. Like, oh, that's human potential? Bullshit. And it is. It's bullshit. These people just don't have any grit about having any kind of conversation unless it's legitimately in a way to tear me down or tear these targets down. When we believe others with a little more grit about them would actually be bred up to like literally stick up for us, and instead of going about in this reality and just enjoying all of the gossip channels and the gossip column that they create. It's literally that type of crime where like they can't even have one simple to do one fucking adulting conversation with us. And I don't think people elsewhere even talk about this kind of thing because they don't leave room for it. And it's just literally that wild. It stands in the way of your name, and then literally it's got to be ringing in these people's ears in a way that other people don't know exists, but it's ringing in their ears. They know loud and clear. Like you can imagine them driving down the road or like being in certain situations. Like, oh, why did I do this, that, and the other? Like, I shouldn't have done this, that, and the other. Da da da. And like literally, our dreams are connected. Even I think to the reality in that kind of fashion because God wants us to pay attention to our dreams. So they even want to do mind mapping to like manipulate dreams and doing weird fuck ass shit with these directed energy weapons, but I know what I know. And this is where I literally need help because leaving a person in a whole life of an entrainment, all to protect real crimes from satanic ritual abusers, my father, to legitimately get away with essaying his own children. Like, I'm sorry, but that's legitimately the truth, and they just don't want me to have that truth and have my dialogue out here in the public in any fashion, in any kind of meaningful way, because they need people's eyes and ears and actions far, far away and managed far, far away from the truth that you're bringing out to the public. So, the help that I need is financially because they're not allowing me to work. They haven't allowed me to work. I would have been just fine if I was just allowed to work and not having a proxy relationship and a deepfake honeypot being introduced into my life for their availability of psychologically hampering my life in that fashion, legitimately trying to entrain me into a fucking suicidality so that they can suggest that their murder is a suicide. No, it's murder, and it's cold, calculated murder, and it's using the systems in order to entrap me in a reality to create that murder. And they know exactly the fucking facts because I'm speaking them out all the time, and that's exactly why they need to take my accounts down. They're not trying to allow me to leave up here.